these fish have really definitely seen better days. Ugh, so sad.
com/sound.
Hey, what's up, Legion? My name is Sal, it's Halloween, and this is another expedition log. Tonight, we're going to visit a mall that I never thought would close, with footage spanning a few years, showcasing both an official DMod summit and a random meetup with my dad, Captain Sal. As always, I hope you're all well out there, taking care of yourselves and having a good time all the time. I'd like to thank all of my patrons and elite explorers for sticking with me this far, as I've been having the most intense work and concert schedule of my life lately, along with some heavy life changes that are about to move me out of the state of Maryland. I've been busy, and I did need to prioritize some things in my life, so I apologize for the delay on this episode. But I'm back, and we're about to hit the gas and cut the brake lines in Phase 7 of the Expedition Log series. In the last couple of episodes, I've teased the launch of ExLog merch, and I wanted to give you all an update on where that's at. I do have photos that I've been shipping, but that's on pause again because I'm moving in a couple of months. I'll need to get a new PO box when I move, and I didn't want to risk having any returned mail with no place to send it back. Once I get settled into my new pad, I'll start shipping everything out again and producing some awesome new stuff like dioramas and other things with my 3D printer, so please stay tuned. I'll keep you all updated on my social media for when merch and everything launches, so links are all down below, and the easiest way to contact me is through my Discord, home of DMod. Just go to discord.gg/DMod, answer a couple of questions from moderators, and you're in. Again, I appreciate all of you sticking with me and being patient while I was doing other stuff. I'm a busy guy. But it's Halloween, possibly my favorite holiday throughout the year, and I have a tale of mall abandonment and a criminally insane security guard who has threatened the lives of many people to tell. So please grab a drink and a snack. This is my longest episode yet. For your consideration, I'd like you all to come take a walk with me and Captain Sal through the Forest Fair Mall in Forest Park, Ohio, where I hope to scare the hell out of each and every one of you with what will most likely be my last installment on America's first Supermall. But first, a word from our sponsors. Monster Face, and an overly excited ad for Microsoft Windows 1.0. Enjoy.
Friday the 13th, this evening.
Tonight at 10 on 19XIS.
Monster Face, the gruesome monster head you make and remake into the most monstrous monsters imaginable.
Now for the test. It works!
Monster Face comes with everything shown here.
How
How much do you think this advanced operating environment is worth? Wait just 1 minute before you answer. Watch as Windows integrates Lotus 123 with Miami Vice. Now we can take this Ferrari and paste it right into Windows Right. Now, how much do you think Microsoft Windows is worth? Don't answer. Wait until you see Windows Right and Windows Paint, and to listen to what else you get at no extra charge. The MS-DOS executive, an appointment calendar, a card file, a notepad, a clock, a control panel, a terminal, a print spool, a RAM driver, and can you believe it? Reversi! That's right! All these features in Reversi, all for just, how much did you guess? 500? 1,000? Even more? No, it's just $99. That's right. It's $99. It's an incredible value, but it's true. It's Windows from Microsoft. Order today. P.O. Box 286, DLS, Exacta, Nebraska.
Forest Fair Mall. The vision of this Supermall is quickly becoming a reality in our community. Building to a fall 1988 opening, Forest Fair signals a revolution in retailing and an evolution in the total shopping experience. The combination of exciting and diverse elements, including 4 famous anchor stores and more than 200 smaller specialty shops, and multi-screen cinema, plus live entertainment staged daily, and a fantasy land of amusement combined to make Forest Fair Mall a forerunner in the generation of the new regional shopping malls. The mall will feature a number of smaller specialty retail shops already familiar to the area, including Getz Jewelers, Athlete's Foot, Karen Charles, Casual Corner, LensCrafters, Petite Sophisticates, among others. L.J. Hooker Developments, based in Atlanta, is now considered one of the 10 largest commercial real estate developers in the United States. We are here on the location at the construction site of the Forest Fair Mall. The Forest Fair Mall is currently under construction and is slated to be the second largest regional mall in the state of Ohio at its opening in September of 1988. When open, the $200 million project will have 5 major anchors and over 200 stores and restaurants, and will also feature a food court and entertainment area. To date, 3 of the main anchor tenants have been announced. Those include Bonwit Teller, Higbee's, and Biggs, a European hypermarket-style retailer featuring food, clothing, and hard goods.
When the mall is complete, the square footage contained within this facility will be approximately 1.5 million square foot, which is comparable to about a 30 to 35 story high-rise office building.
Carl, I want to thank you for being with me today and sharing some of the information on this big project, and I'm sure we all look forward to it opening and seeing the construction progress on it.
It's indeed my pleasure, and I'm excited about the project itself.
On March 1st, the city of Forest Park welcomed America's first Supermall, the Forest Fair Mall. In a tribute to Forest Fair Mall, the following videotape production, produced by Chip Berquist, shows the mall before its opening and during its grand opening dedication ceremonies.
Forest Fair Mall celebrated its grand opening on March 1st, 1989 in a ceremony hosted by former Reds catcher Johnny Bench. Billed as America's first supermall, Forest Fair features 5 anchor department stores and over 200 smaller shops. 3 of the anchor stores are new to the Cincinnati area: B. Altman's, Parisian, and Bonwit Teller. In addition, Forest Fair features a 2-level food court and a large entertainment area with such attractions as an 18-hole miniature golf course, a 30-horse carousel, Dodgem cars, children's rides, and an arcade midway. Forest Fair was developed by the Australian firm of L.J. Hooker, whose president, George Herskin, credits the excellent support of both the Forest Park and Fairfield City Councils, as well as the state of Ohio, for helping the mall become reality in just 5 years. Joe Ragacy is the mayor of Forest Park. So there it is, after only 5 short years, the grand opening of Forest Fair Mall, located at I-275 and Whitney Road, Forest Park, Fairfield, Ohio.
The City of Forest Park is pleased to have the Forest Fair Mall as such a major development project within our community, and has appreciated the commitment of its developer, L.J. Hooker, over the last 5 years. I look forward to sharing more information with you on community and economic development on the next segment of the Forest Park Business Journal.
Welcome back to the Forest Fair Mall, or Cincinnati Mills, or Cincinnati Mall, or Forest Fair Village, whatever you want to call it. This place has gone by a ton of different names over the years, but I will personally acknowledge it by all of its names. While this is my 3rd installment of Cincy Mills, I really don't consider the first 2 to be separate pieces. They still cover one visit, but for some reason I decided to split them into 2 parts. So between us, we can consider this part 2, if I ever decide to get out there and cover the demolition in an absolutely final piece. For this episode, I do want to cover the history for the sake of narrative, but I also want to show a mall that's near and dear to my heart, and some memories from both the 2019 DMOD Summit, where my dad, Captain Sal, randomly decided to show up and crash the party, along with my most recent visit from 2021, where I encountered an unsuspecting criminal in the security staff for Forest Fair. We'll be weaving to and from in-camera dialogue and studio narrative throughout this episode, so let's jump into it. Plans for this mall began back in 1985, when the ambitious Australian firm L.J. Hooker, headed by retail tycoon George Herskin, announced an expansion onto US soil to bring their commercial presence to the States. I covered Herskin and the L.J. Hooker firm in a bit more detail in ExLogs 30 and 31. So if you want to hear more about George Herskin and them, you can go check those episodes out. On April 5, 1985, it was announced in the Cincinnati Enquirer that the Ohio-based Amiga development firm, headed by Yarmwar Steiner, was to build a 560,000 square foot mall that would straddle the Hamilton and Butler County lines, anchored by a Biggs. The public wasn't stoked with this proposal, and it was failing to ignite interest in council meetings, despite strong interest from Fairfield, Ohio city manager Robert Gerhardt. News reached Sydney, and Herskin caught wind of this deal. So he quickly packed up, jumped on a plane to the States, and cut a deal with Amiga to purchase both the 116-acre plot of land that the mall would be built on and their tentative plans for the mall. Harescu and his firm made a quick turnaround for the plans and seduced the council into the idea for their new mall. However, it wasn't a 560,000 square foot mall anymore. Harescu's L.J. Hooker firm pitched a grand 1.5 million square foot, $200 million supermall, which would be a first in the United States. The site was immediately rezoned. The plot of land was swiftly made pad ready, everyone was stoked for the idea, and work began in early 1986 to bring Hooker's supermall to fruition. When Harescu brought the L.J. Hooker firm to the States, he would bring a $2 billion USD budget with him, making the new mall spanning Forest Park and Fairfield an entire 10% of his allowance for new malls in the States. During construction, 1,200 people were employed to bring the mall to life. This involved a weekly payroll of over $600,000, a half dozen architectural firms, 3 construction teams, and hundreds of engineers. There were over 8,500 tons of steel planned for construction, along with 60,000 cubic yards of concrete for this project. A unique barrel-vaulted steel enclosure for the center of the mall was designed, which would make the light reflect in a way to show the unique 50-foot wide concourses in any direction. The landscaping alone would cost $2.5 million, and was designed in a way to not impact the aesthetic language for the surrounding neighborhoods. The incredibly large parking lot was designed to accommodate nearly 5,000 cars, and the even larger parking garage at over 1 million square feet would host over 3,000 vehicles. The mall would open in multiple phases, beginning in late summer of 1988, with a grand opening scheduled for spring of 1989. On July 1 of 1988, Biggs would open as the first senior anchor, along with 20 inline tenants serving as the Phase 1 soft opening for the Forest Fair Mall. By February 27 of 1989, there was a local article written in the Enquirer about the upcoming grand opening for the mall, calling it L.J. Hooker's, quote, great experiment, close quote, touting the mall as America's first supermall and a giant gamble from Harescu to put $2 billion on the line for a handful of malls with non-familiar anchor stores. L.J. Hooker was trying to expand their Australian retail footprint way too rapidly and aggressively, and despite multiple news outlets calling them out on it, Hooker would push their plans through not only with Forest Fair, but with multiple malls, including the ill-fated Richland Mall in Columbia, South Carolina, which was a scaled-down replica of Forest Fair. I covered Richland in ExLog 100, so if you want to see what Forest Fair looked like before it was renovated, go check that episode out. Forest Fair Mall would have its ribbon-cutting ceremony and grand opening dedication on March 1, 1989, emceed by former Cincinnati Reds catcher Johnny Bench. The mall opened with 6 senior anchors: B. Altman, Bonwit Teller, Sakowitz, Parisian, Biggs, and Elder Bierman. The mall was a spectacle, and it truly was America's first supermall. Despite raving success following the dedication of Forest Fair Mall, just 2 months after opening, L.J. Hooker placed the mall for sale. Harescu filed for bankruptcy protection in July of 1989 when it was revealed that the L.J. Hooker firm was over $1.7 billion in debt. Following this news, Hooker's malls began to see a sharp decline in tenancy, and in October of 1990, Forest Fair saw the departure of Bonwit Teller, followed by B. Altman and Sakowitz just 1 month later in November. With half of the original anchors failed and shuttered in less than 1 year, many inline tenants lost faith in the mall's leadership, and by June of 1990, Forest Fair had an occupancy of just 65%. A couple of months later, in a Cincinnati Enquirer article, it was noted that all development in and around the mall was halted and no new business was likely to come into the mall. By January of 1991, the Bank of Nova Scotia, who had lent Hooker most of the $250 million it needed to build the mall, the bank reclaimed Forest Fair under the guise Forest Fair Mall Limited Partnership, which was just a group of banks led by the Bank of Nova Scotia. At this point, the mall had no leadership, and it was spiraling out of control with an occupancy of just 56% by the summer of 1991. The partnership brought in several firms to help revitalize the mall, and eventually landed on a concept to split the mall into 4 separate themed areas. The announcement came in May of 1992 that Forest Fair Mall would see a $25 million renovation, and these 4 districts would be created. The fashion at Forest Fair, anchored by Parisian, Elder Beerman, and Dawaharis, which would replace Sakowitz. The festival at Forest Fair, introducing restaurants, a nightclub, amusement center, and movie theaters. The markets at Forest Fair, anchored by Biggs Hypermarket, along with other convenience-type stores. And lastly, the lifestyles at Forest Fair, in the northwest wing, which would replace the B. Altman with several home goods-type stores and sporting goods and entertainment stores. The renovations would go on for about a year, and while there were no additional structures created inside the mall, rather they shifted and reimagined the space. By August of 1993, the work was complete, and the former Bonwit Teller space was formally rebranded as the Festival at Forest Fair. The Biggs Concourse, housing the markets at Forest Fair, welcomed a new CompUSA store. Y'all remember CompUSA? Those days are long gone. The fashion and lifestyles at Forest Fair opened in the Parisian and former B. Altman wings, respectively. These renovations saw the mall renamed to the Malls at Forest Fair.
The stairs. Oh my God. Watch the spider webs. Right here. This is what's holding up the place to be. That one beam. This is what's holding it up right here. Check this out. This is crazy. Can't get into that Kohl's. Watch this glass here. That's a booby trap if I ever seen one. Like, what if I wanted to go shopping at Kohl's? I can. Although there's music now. This is where I'm going to get the copyright claim. With this one, this is the only thing playing music in the entire nearly 2 million square feet of the mall right there. I don't even know what song it is. YouTube will know exactly what that song is. Yeah. Oh, this song suits me perfectly. It's called When to Talk and When to Listen. Is there a bug in my back? No. Just wait. Just wait.
Back in 2019, we held the DMOD Summit at Forest Fair. A bunch of us met up at the mall and actually went around to the other malls in the area. We did a scavenger hunt looking for dead mall stuff, and there were prizes, and it was a total blast. Someone actually brought a couple of 6-packs of Zima while it was back out for a limited run, and we all just had a great time. The summit centered around Forest Fair, mainly because of the weekend hours. Arcade Legacy would stay open until midnight, which let us sneak around the mall super late playing cat and mouse games with the security staff. At the time, security was still buzzing around on their Segways, so you could hear them coming from a pretty far distance. This was the perfect place to host a dead mall meetup. And we only got yelled at by security a couple of times when people were caught taking pictures at like 11:30 p.m. Security told us that we had to stay in the food court at night, and they were pretty cool about a large group of us being there. I think I charged everyone like $20 or something for the summit, but that included wristbands for this Arcade Legacy along with some DMOD Summit swag. The Arcade Legacy wristbands allowed you to play any of the games inside this store, this arcade, for free as much as you wanted all day, and you had come and go access. There was a ton of awesome games in here, and we just kept coming and going to and from the arcade all day. At this point, with Forest Fair shuttered, Arcade Legacy has moved out, and they currently reside in Sharonville on Crown Point Drive. So if you're local, or if you're not local, pay them a visit. I definitely recommend traveling there. It's really an awesome place, and the employees are really cool too. Just as I was ending my first session at Arcade Legacy for the day, I actually got a text from my dad. He told me to go out to my car to check for something. I don't remember what he told me to check for, but I did go out to my car in the garage. It was a weird text to get because at the time, he was traveling for work and he was in Kentucky, and he's usually really busy through the day. But when I got out to my car, he was actually in the garage, all giddy and hyped up to see a dead mall.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Yo ho!
Yeah,
Yo ho!
There's a
right there.
wire that goes across.
No shit, that's why I told you to go out that way.
Well,
Yo ho!
Okay, I'm going. Yo ho!
What did I tell you? This is me. Just in like 40 years, that's me.
You said that we had to keep cameras on him all day.
You hear this? You hear this?
Yeah, I saw this.
Look at me, look at this. Look at this. Oh, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. There's bushes.
Great landscaping there. A little bit.
What? They're coming for you.
All right, friends. Take your keys out of my hand.
Well, we'll get it into your car. Got it? Yo ho!
I got you sorry.
No, come on.
What?
I gotta fix it.
You got IT me, mother.
Don't watch my pencil. With the water on the iPad.
Put the water on the outside. What do you know, don't worry about that.
You can't handle the
I don't
power.
care what anybody says. You are a bag. Here.
Okay. Well, guess who fucking taught me?
Your mother.
Guess who taught me?
Well, what do you got here?
I got a little thing.
Who gave me that? From the 25-cent machine.
All right, time me. That's the only way it takes us to get to
32 seconds.
Bro?
Oh, look at the little gooses. It was a baby goose. There's got to be baby gooses around.
Yes. We're here.
Parking this way? Yeah. On a f***ing angle? Okay. Okay, well.
Yeah, good for them.
Not because my cousin.
Steering is broken. Can't shift, but third and fourth gear. Totally busted.
We all wrapped up the first day of the 2019 DMOD Summit and retired for the night. My dad and I bunked up together in my hotel room, and he was super stoked to get to see Forest Fair in depth the next day. But there's really nothing like experiencing this mall at night. The odd flickering lights, the deep darkness of long corridors, and the loud crackling of the floor under your feet in the food court, with the odd blue underwater tones staring at you from all sides. Forest Fair really was a beautiful mall to behold during the daytime. The colors are incredible. Probably would have loved it a bit more if it retained the LJ Hooker aesthetic. But this place really was beautiful, and at night it was just a total liminal fever dream. I do miss it.
Mark, 102, take one. With overlap, action beat.
You just do anything?
No, sorry. Okay, rolling. 102, take two.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle and like the best French champagne. It's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
102, take three. Action, please.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle and like the best French champagne. It's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
Who irons their shorts?
You got your shirt on inside out.
Real?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, shit. Regardless, who irons their shorts? Why?
Because you want them to be nice.
Why? You can't. They're still wrinkled.
Yeah, I know, but
Weird as legs.
Jim did. You like
shirts on inside out. Come on, BMW boy.
I wasn't buying for $500.
No. You want to go into Forest Fair, Captain Sal?
As far as sure.
This.
Oh yeah.
Okay. After you. I wonder if this is open, actually.
Attention shoppers.
That's in the arcade. Alright, no loud noises. Well, there used to be an office there where you could buy a membership, but you can't get a membership anymore. Don't know how they're gonna stay.
Memorial Day, huh?
Memorial Day. No better way to celebrate one's national pride than by visiting Cincinnati Mall.
Amazes me is that still the doors unlocked where people can walk in and walk around.
Well, I mean, it's for the mall walkers, but you have to imagine, like, how are they keeping it open just for them? You know?
I don't know. Lock the damn thing up, block it off, and then just have the area open. You have 3 stores here.
Yeah.
The gym, the Caspro, and what's the other
Kohl's.
one?
Yeah.
I'll put everything down and make the gym move down here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because you still got a heat this side, you still got an air conditioner this side.
Feel how hot it is, though?
Well, yeah, but you still got.
Sad fish.
Dead fish there.
Dead fish. You don't want that kind of fish.
Them.
Nobody's feeding them, so they died. Oh man. What would you do if your fish looked like that in your tank?
Scoop them out, throw them down the toilet. Actually, it's too big to throw down the toilet. It's a big hole.
When pigs fly.
What?
When pigs fly. Just love this whole place. Yeah, man. Go take a dip. I'm not sure.
By September of 1994, a Kohl's opened in the space formerly occupied by the B. Altman, and 1 month later, a haunted house was set up to celebrate Halloween in the former Sakowitz space. People were once again coming to the mall, and business was doing way better. They were up to a 75% occupancy, and this was a direct result of the redevelopment efforts. It's almost as if spending money to keep a mall current brings business back. There's a few developers, I think, today that should be taking notes. Kohan.
A lot of gum wrappers in here. It's all Big Bubble, or whatever it's called.
The mall was put up on the market again in 1995, and the bank was looking to recoup at least some of their loss for this property. They finally found a buyer in Gator Investments, who purchased Forest Fair for only $36 million, down from the over $250 million investment to build it. 2 years later, Forest Fair would see the departure of Parisian and CompUSA.
What do you think of this place?
I think it's a f***ing house.
What do you think of this place for my PG audience?
Oh, it's probably really nice. Very nice. It's a little messy due to the fact that it's empty. But nice.
Every time I ever visited Forest Fair, it always bewildered me how the place would remain open. Even back in 2018, there was absolutely nothing inside except Arcade Legacy, and I think a bouncy place for kids. But the Kohl's and Bass Pro Shops were solid anchor spaces. However, both had closed off their interior access, so they were completely separated from Forest Fair's concourses. My curiosity got the better of me in 2019, and I wanted to see just what Bass Pro Shops was all about, and why the store justified keeping a 1.5 million square foot empty building open just because it was attached. I do have to say, Bass Pro is a wild place. It's aimed at those who like to fish and hunt and do outdoors type stuff. The store itself is a complete sensory overload, with the center fish tank, mountain, and cascading waterfall display crowning the overall aesthetic at the store. So I finally decided to go inside and see what it was all about. Bass Pro first began operations as a fishing tackle sales joint in 1972 out of the back of a liquor store in Springfield, Missouri. They opened the first legit Bass Pro Shops in 1981 in Springfield, then another in Duluth, Georgia in 1995. But then as Gator Investments was trying to figure out what to do with their Forest Fair Mall, they decided to pump over $60 million into the mall. That money would also be used to bring in some big stores. And as they straddled Y2K into the new millennium, in 2000, Gator had signed Saks Off Fifth, Media Play, and Bass Pro Shops. By September of 2000, they had opened an indoor children's amusement park called Wonder Park, where the timeout on the court used to be. Phase 1 of this new development would be opened in November of 2000 with the grand opening of Media Play and this Bass Pro Shops. It's worth noting that even with Forest Fair closed now in 2023, this Bass Pro is still open and the company is thriving. They make over $6.5 billion in revenue every year, and they have 177 locations, including 82 Cabela's. I don't know if it was hope that kept the concourses at Forest Fair open for all those years. Maybe that Bass Pro could revitalize them all with just its business alone. And while I do get why Bass Pro is such a popular store, in no way, shape, or form did it justify keeping Forest Fair open for all those years. But you gotta give it to Bass Pro, they do know how to make a spectacle inside their stores. How cool is that? Honestly though, this is the coolest part of the store. The rest of it is just normal sales, like shirts and hunting knives and guns and stuff. It really wasn't worth filming the rest of it, which I did. But it wasn't really something that is worth showcasing in an ExLog.
Anakin was wearing was small.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Captain. Yo ho. What in the sweet... You kidding me with this right now? You need to cool it.
That goose is calling the strike, man.
What the...
So I'm still here with my dad, and he got super deep in the paint, exploring every crevice of Forest Fair back in 2019. And as I was filming a mall planter, I called him over to me when he came out of the bathroom, but he made a peculiar discovery in the urinal inside the men's bathroom.
Come on over. I was just admiring this, plant. I was just admiring this plant.
It's a beautiful plant.
Nature. Wild and wonderful. Nature.
Nature. It's my in the urinal.
Was it you?
No, it was me.
Somebody pooped in the urinal. Like they actually pooped in the urinal. Alright, we're gonna blur everything out, but you'll see the darkness. That is disgusting. Comfy?
No, it's not comfy.
spooked out? You scared?
Yeah.
In just a moment, we're going to get our first look at the security guard, which brought some extremely bad press to this mall. He'll be racing around on the Segway that I later learned was broken by their very own security staff by a guy named Josh. But this security guard did no favors to the mall, as you'll see a bit later in the episode. The guy's actually a criminal. And when he's off his meds, he is insane. He's too fast. He's too fast. I can't catch up. I can't catch up with him. He's too fast. I like your pineapple shirt.
Like that pineapple shirt?
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's
So,
real nice.
yeah, so if the cop comes, we're part of the Pineapple Mall Walkers
Association.
So, yeah.
Pineapple sponsored by MTV.
Oh, there you go.
there you
Pineapple
go.
Mall Walkers. What are you doing?
Let's check the water.
Why are you going back there?
Check the water.
Is it on? Maybe it was off until you turned it on.
No.
I'm going to send you a bill.
Okay, we got real peppers.
Those are real?
No.
Are there any travel agents inside to make inquiries? Don't. You know, I've kind of like created a monster with you.
I want to see about getting a brochure.
Just opening doors wherever you want, turning water on,
Check it out.
whatever, man. You're crazy now.
It's like the Jetsons lights.
Gator announced yet another redevelopment project in 2001, and for $15 million, they removed the center court Ferris wheel and built this grand staircase, and painted fake storefronts in the empty stalls to make it look like the mall was doing much better than it actually was. You know, like in Looney Tunes, the Acme paintings that Bugs would paint on the mountains so that Daffy Duck would run into it, it was just like that. It was just fake and made no sense. These renovations didn't do much for the mall, and by 2002, Elder Bierman left, and there were only 50 inline tenants remaining. In September of 2002, Gator finally decided to bail, and they sold the mall to the Mills Corporation for $64.9 million. Mills turned right around and announced a $70 million renovation, which would take about 2 years to complete. The mall reopened on August 19, 2004, now as the Cincinnati Mills, and saw the removal of all L.J. Hooker design, leaving the mall as it looked up until its closure in this footage. At the grand reopening, the mall had a 90% occupancy, with new semi-high-end retailers such as Nine West, Guess, Zales Jewelers, Bath & Body Works, and Bonworth. As with all multi-million-dollar renovations, the mall was staged for success if they could hold on to it.
When Europeans get together with friends, they serve their wine in a carafe. Thanks to Paul Masson, we can enjoy this same tradition. Paul Masson's convenient carafe, sealed fresh at the winery to capture each wine's delicious flavor, whether it's Paul Masson's delicate, crisp Chablis, rich, mellow Burgundy, or delightful Rosé. The Paul Masson carafe. The time has come for this great way to serve a great wine.
It's just after 9:30. It's ready. It's time. The ribbon cutting ceremony, and we got to introduce a special guest. Who likes reality TV out there? I don't know about you, but I am absolutely hooked on reality TV. Please welcome the host of ABC's The Bachelor and HGTV's Designers Challenge, Chris Harrison.
Good morning. How you doing, Cincinnati? Welcome. Man, what a crowd. How you guys doing? In the back row. Good morning. Welcome. How about this place? It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I was up all night painting and getting this place ready for you guys, so I hope you like it. Now the ceremonial scissors to cut the ribbon. I would like to remind all our VIPs, no running in the mall with the scissors when we're done. Now we will roll out the official Mills banner. It is time to start the grand opening. If you guys will help me out with a little drum roll, please. Let's count it down together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Cincinnati Mills Mall is open. You are all free to shop. Enjoy your day at Mills Mall.
One year after the grand reopening of the mall, in 2005, Cincinnati Mills saw the opening of Steve & Barry's in the former Elder Bierman space. Then the Mills Corp would find themselves under scrutiny when the SEC began investigating them due to irregularities in their finances. The Mills decided to cut their company down to 200 employees and made the shocking announcement that Cincinnati Mills was one of their worst performing properties. With nearby competitors in Northgate and Tri-County malls thriving, Cincinnati Mills was going downhill fast, and the Mills Corp was sinking even faster. In a bid to avoid complete loss, a deal was struck in 2007 for Simon Property Group to acquire the entire Mills portfolio for $1.46 billion, then making Cincinnati Mills a Simon property. Simon kept the Mills branding, but ultimately decided to unload the mall, selling it to North Star Realty in March of 2009 for an undisclosed amount. It was at this time that North Star changed the name to the Cincinnati Mall. Steve & Barry's would vacate later that year, and reports indicated the mall's occupancy somewhere between 40 and 50%. 1 year later, in 2010, the mall was sold again when Alex Dimitriades, under the Cincinnati Holding Company LLC, paid just under $6 million to North Star for the mall. The Showcase Cinema and Saks Off Fifth would vacate following the transaction. Dimitriades made multiple claims that big renovations were coming to the mall, like a big hotel, restaurants, museums, and an indoor mountain biking range. But the only thing Dimitriades changed was in 2013 when the mall was renamed Forest Fair Village. They didn't even bother to update all the signage. Following the soft name reboot, the Burlington Coat Factory vacated its space. By 2015, multiple plans were announced to sell the mall, and there was even a potential buyer out in California, but the deal would fall through. Bass Pro consistently threatened to move their store, but by 2017, they were one of the 3 businesses remaining, along with Kohl's and Arcade Legacy. Later that year, the mall was put up for sale for $55 million. I showed up for the first time in 2018 to see what newspapers were calling the 1.5 million square feet of emptiness, and I immediately fell in love with this place. In 2019, I decided to host the annual DMOD Summit here, and along with Captain Sal, my friends and I had an absolute blast. In 2020, we all know what happened, and as malls would temporarily close across the country, everyone thought it was finally time for Forest Fair to close for good. But it actually reopened against all odds, still only with the Arcade Legacy open inside. Excited by the news that this mall was still open, I came back here in 2021 with the footage you're seeing now to visit Forest Fair. While it was slightly more dilapidated and run down, it felt like absolutely nothing had changed. Really, the only changes that I noticed, the urinals were bagged up and the security guards no longer had a Segway, and they were now riding bikes. But other than that, this place was exactly the same. The air conditioning was still off.
These fish have really definitely seen better days. Ugh, so sad. The rest of them, I guess, are okay.
But we finally made it back into the studio and to produce a video film on one of my personal favorite malls, Forest Fair Village. I hope you all had such a pleasurable time here, and you're so pretty and gorgeous and pleasurable. Did you see the security boy, the big beefy security boy riding around on his bike? He's a lunatic. Don't make eye contact. I gotta go poop in the urinal again, so I'm gonna go now, but I'll see you soon, real soon at Tri-County Mall, okay? Bye!
That's one of the 3 reasons that this place is still open. Even though they closed their access off into the mall, which I get, but I don't know, it doesn't really justify keeping the inner concourses open. Because there's nothing. Man.
It was announced in 2022 that both Butler and Hamilton counties called for $9.5 million to demolish the mall, while they were negotiating with Kohl's and Bass Pro for redevelopment. Later that year, in September, Arcade Legacy finally moved out, leaving the Cincinnati Mills Forest Fair Mall with absolutely nothing open inside. It was reported in October of 2022 that the mall was slated for demolition, along with 825 other derelict buildings across Ohio. And this program was boasted by Governor Mike DeWine, and it was actually happening. There is now a demolition scheduled for the Cincinnati Mills, Forest Fair Village, Forest Fair Mall, Cincinnati Mall. It's not clear what the date for demolition is, but it is actually happening. The Forest Fair Mall finally shuttered for good on December 2, 2022, after the Forest Park Fire Department cited the mall for numerous fire code violations.
So we're post-COVID, and I'm back here at the Cincinnati Mills Mall, Forest Fair, whatever you want to call it, your choice, and nothing has changed. I will say that it is a little bit more run down than it was the last time I was here. The bathrooms, they have no soap, all the urinals are sealed up, everything is obviously closed, everything. But this place, I just can never fathom how they're staying open. Arcade Legacy is still open, obviously, but it boggles my mind how this place survives so long. There's nothing open except for Arcade Legacy. And Kohl's, fine, and Bass Pro. Okay, so 2 anchors and 1 inline tenant. Man, it's crazy. So even if you came into the Bass Pro, right? You came here for that. You left, then you came back into the mall. The only other thing that you could do inside the mall is if you walked all the way down, then took a right, and went to Arcade Legacy. That's it. I wouldn't even trust that the vending machines are still current. There's nothing here. I don't know how else to reiterate that. There's absolutely nothing here. It's not hyperbole. There's nothing. So unless you like video games, that's it. The bathrooms don't even work. Nothing. Nada. Niente. Nunzio. Absolutely nothing. I told you.
Okay, this is where things get kind of nefarious and on point for the Halloween spooky season. It was just a couple of months after my visit when a news report surfaced about a security guard who was verbally assaulting visitors, chasing them out to their cars, pulling knives on them. This lunatic was even convicted of killing kittens and shoving their dead bodies into a freezer. I'm sorry to be morbid, but these are facts. According to him, he was off his meds, and that caused his behavior. Now, it turns out that I interacted with this guy when I was here in 2021. It's the guy who's riding his bike around now. And for the longest time, I couldn't tell if it was the same guy, because he looks a little bit different in my footage than he did in the news reports. But when I finally sat down to edit this footage, he told me his name. And he said his name is Edmund. Not with a T, not Edmund, he said Edmund. Luckily, he was on his meds, I think, the day that I saw this guy.
The security guard is now on a bike. Beefy dude with a medic pack on his back. All right.
There's some stuff in the world that's so far-fetched and wild that you just can't make it up. You can't make some of this stuff up. If any of you are visiting dead malls, please be careful. Please be careful. Look at this news report. I can't make this stuff up.
Quickly turned into fear.
I think that I made a very huge risk going to that mall with that man inside there.
Mary Chambers says she and a friend were drawn to the Cincinnati Mall, now known as Forest Fair Village, last Tuesday. She wanted to see what she calls a dead mall with barely any stores left.
It's really cool. It's actually a really nice place. It's just sad, eerie, you know.
But she says a few photographs of stores past angered Edmund Cunningham, a man police say is a security guard. His anger apparent in video captured by Chambers.
Oh yeah, I tried to block the license plate.
We're not doing anything. Get away from my car.
Chambers says Cunningham followed them and berated them, telling them to leave, even pulling a knife.
I just got a gun.
Cool. Does it make bigger?
Out of my state before I
live in Ohio.
OMC code 4576.
Oh my God, dude.
Cunningham was convicted on animal cruelty charges in 2018 after Middletown police say he admitted to killing 8 kittens and throwing them in his freezer. Another woman told us he also confronted her for taking photos.
He has a knife.
Shut the up and get the off the property.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pull a knife with kids. Great.
For Chambers, the encounter is worse than any shopping trip could have been.
Oh, I'll show you a lunatic.
I know you will, and I'll record you doing it.
I'll crush the phone out of your hand.
Don't touch me, dude. Hey.
Get the out of here!
And why was he employed there? They have to know that he had done what he had done in the past.
Now, according to police, Cunningham said he ran out of medication and his paranoia surfaced. He also said that the knife was simply a training knife. We tried to get in touch with his attorney. So far, we have not heard back. We're live downtown. Dan Griffin, WLWT News 5.
Which way did you park?
Garage. Why? I can make
4
it.
minutes.
Dude, I can make it. I'm like, go, man, go.
The problem is, I'm too big for the plane, and my balls are jostling.
What happened to the Segway that used to be here?
The Segway?
Yeah, man.
Josh broke it.
There's absolutely no reason for any mall cop to behave like that if someone's just taking a picture. It's absolutely not all right. Now, I've had my fair share of run-ins with mall cops, and while I have been chased to my car by ketchup-stained mouth Kyle, or whatever his name was, at Indiana Mall, I've never had a mall cop pull a weapon on me. Mall cops out there listening, if you're watching this listening to me right now, for the most part, you're all cool. You're great. You're doing a great job. But by no means is it okay for you to act like you're military in front of people that are just taking pictures. Any of you mall cops out there, if you're like this guy Edmund, you need to do better. But for the most part, you're all great.
I didn't want you having to look for me, so I'll just let you lock the door behind me. I'll meet you downstairs. What's your name again? What's your name again? Devin? I couldn't hear you. The other thing that I think is different is that despite the extended hours at Arcade Legacy, they are really enforcing kicking people out when the mall closes. Let's get out of here with the security guard.
I think my freaking ass is bleeding.
Would you say your name was
Edmund.
Edmund. I like your vest.
It's necessary because people put guns on me.
Are you serious? People pull guns on you?
Yeah.
All right, Edmund. Thanks a lot, man.
The guys can't be in the restricted area of the garage.
So, Cincinnati Mills, Forest Fair. I love this place. But let's get out of here. Is this the same truck? I doubt it. The wheels look similarly flat. Did they just remove all the graffiti? Oh my God. Did they get a new truck? It's not doing anything. The window's blown out. There's this other truck here, but it's dark. Probably bees and stuff in here. Oh. What the hell? What the hell is this?
I'd like to thank all of you for watching my video. Forest Fair has been in my top 3 favorite malls since the first time I saw it so many years ago. I always thought it would be the giant dead mall that would always be there for DMOD summits that we could meet up at, and I never imagined it would actually close. Given the work and research that I've done in this field, I'm a realist, and of course I knew the day would actually come. But something in me was hopeful that we would always be able to visit Forest Fair for decades to come. But malls across the country are closing at an exponential rate, and we're losing access to legendary malls that once seemed bulletproof. When I first started this series, there were so many malls out there, and I just felt overwhelmed and that I could never visit all of them, ever. But for the most part, I've only really touched the East and some Central malls, and these days, I'm feeling like there's not many left. Sure, I haven't touched a lot of West malls, Southwest malls, or South Central malls, but malls are closing so fast, and there's no new ones being built. So if any of you out there have any interest in this, I really do implore you to safely go visit your mall and take a couple of pictures, because we need to document these places before they're all gone. I want to send a special shout out to my patrons and elite explorers for sticking with me while I was out there busy handling some non-exlog stuff. I really do appreciate all of you, and it brings me immense gratitude to see my audience stick with me for so many years. As we tuck into Phase 7 of the ExLog, we're going to see some more Cincinnati locations, along with a couple of side quests over on my second channel, Quite Studios. We'll be seeing some abandoned malls and other dead malls, with footage spanning multiple years. This episode, though, this was closure for me. I was pretty upset when I found out that Forest Fair shuttered for good and it had a demolition order. And I needed to produce this as a way of saying goodbye to a place that was so close to my soul since nearly the beginning of this series. So farewell, Forest Fair. You were awesome. You did great. I'll be back soon with tons more content. And merch is coming. I just need to move to a new house, so stay tuned for that on my social media. I'm still on Twitter or X, whatever it's called, Instagram, Facebook, but the best way to contact me is through my Discord server, home of DMOD. Just go to discord.gg/DMOD, answer a couple of questions by a moderator, and you're in. My next episode, ExLog 119, will cover the now shuttered Tri-County Mall, another mall that I thought would never close. But in the meantime, I wish you all the most ghastly of incantations this Halloween. Take care of yourselves, Legion, and have a fantastic day.
13th, this evening. Tonight at 10 on 19XIS.
Monster Face, the gruesome monster head you make and remake into the most monstrous monsters imaginable.
Now for the test. It works!
Monster Face comes with everything shown here.
How much do you think this advanced operating environment is worth? Wait just 1 minute before you answer. Watch as Windows integrates Lotus 123 with Miami Vice. Now we can take this Ferrari and paste it right into Windows Right. Now, how much do you think Microsoft Windows is worth? Don't answer. Wait until you see Windows Right and Windows Paint, and then listen to what else you get at no extra charge. The MS-DOS executive, an appointment calendar, a card file, a notepad, a clock, a control panel, a terminal, a print spool, a RAM driver, and can you believe it? Reversi! That's right! All these features in Reversi, all for just, how much did you guess? 500? 1,000? Even more? No, it's just $99. That's right. It's $99. It's an incredible value, but it's true. It's Windows from Microsoft. Order today. P.O. Box 286, DOS, Exacto, Nebraska.